Hey guys, it's Edwin here, and today we're going to talk about those negative thoughts and the constant overthinking and the rumination after you've left an abusive relationship. You see, when you've left an abusive relationship, the common theme of the day is constant, intrusive, and obsessive thoughts about your past relationship. The thoughts are more of a tape playing in your head all day about what you could have done to possibly fix the relationship or what you could have done better to stop them from changing, and just endless questions that have no answers or will never have any answers. These questions even keep you from taking action in your present life, and you might even not want to get out of bed or do your chores because the thoughts are just driving you crazy. You may have also overheard that they have a new catch or they are now planning to get married, and now new thoughts like what if their new partner is now having the best version of them, or what if I did the wrong thing by leaving early, or what if I had listened to the promises that they will change their behavior. And the fact that they are moving on so fast may also make you feel like, oh, what if I've been the problem all along? Oh, what if I was not just that understanding enough and I was just overreacting? There are just endless thoughts and replayed scenarios which are just taking a toll on your day. And those thoughts may leave you with emotions of feeling sad, feeling in this dark place, feeling hopeless about the future, and just feeling so stuck. And the other thing is, of course, you may try to distract yourself by like thinking about something else or just focusing on something else, but the thoughts are not stopping, they'll still come back. One thought comes and you follow along with that thought. Your overthinking self is just glued in the past, even when logically you understand that you cannot fix the relationship or you could not fix the relationship, but you still feel that there is still something you could have done and no one can convince you otherwise. You even consume tons of information about narcissism and all those toxic relationship stuff, but you still feel that there was something you could have done because your partner is just a little different. Like there was something you could have done. So logically, you know you could not change or fix the relationship, but it's still not stopping you from those thoughts of what if. So how do you cope with this negative and intrusive thoughts about your past relationship? So we first have to understand that anything about thought is just the past or the future. It's never present. The other thing is your mind will always come up with worst case scenarios of every kind of situation you are in. It will feed you with the scenario of saving the relationship. Look at how it goes. It will feed you with the scenario of saving the relationship instead of feeding you with the scenario of you saving yourself from the relationship. Why do you think that happens? It's because you believe that you are unworthy. So the thing which will help you cope is to, of course, shine some light or awareness to those negative thoughts. That's where like journaling comes in handy. What you can do is journal all those intrusive thoughts of what you could have done or what you think you did wrong or all those kind of thoughts about your relationship. This is so practical actually. So you take some time each day to analyze what those thoughts are feeding you with. Do not analyze it like in your head because your mind will trick you. It's more of like you're cornering the mind. It's more like those moments when those negative thoughts come, you've already analyzed all the possible scenarios. And the mind now would not feed you with many unreasonable scenarios. So instead of going along with those negative thoughts, take out your phone. If you have a journal on your phone, or take out a piece of paper and journal about them, right? Also, the mind is telling you that you could have done this then, right? So even if I had done this, right, what would have happened? Because you know that you also did that. You for example, let's say your mind is telling you that you could have just apologized. Then, once you write it down, you realize that there was also moments in life where you apologize, but nothing changed. So it's just cornering the mind, like you're exposing the exaggerations the mind is trying to feed you with by just journaling about it. So journaling just exposes you more to the reality of the situation instead of your mind just feeding you with worst case scenarios. So remove it from here and put it in a piece of paper. That will really help you when you are having these negative thoughts. The other thing you can do, of course, is to practice mindfulness, because thought just keeps spinning and spinning. So it's taking you away from your present self. So when you practice mindfulness, like practicing meditation or doing some breath work, it just brings you back to the present moment, especially when your mind is just trying to take you away or trying to feed you with million scenarios, which doesn't make sense at all. And there are a number of free resources when it comes to mindfulness, which you can just look for yourself to help you through this. Because the key to all this is not to follow along with those negative thoughts, but instead to bring them to your awareness. So all those coping mechanisms may, of course, not like address the problem permanently, but they will help, because it will mean that you will not be following along with the thoughts. You'll just be more present. So you will feel more in control of those thoughts instead of those thoughts just ruining your day. This will certainly of course improve your mental health, and you'll feel less stressed. You'll not be crippled by the negative thoughts, and you'll even be able to validate your own strengths, which will lessen the painful intrusive thoughts, because you are seeing it. You are not going along with them. You are seeing them for what they are, just thoughts. So that's how you can cope. Mindfulness and journaling. There are, of course, other practices, but you can just find them on your own. But just focus on the deceptive nature of those thoughts. Aside from coping with those negative thoughts or those intrusive thoughts, you can permanently address those negative thoughts by having a deep shift in your inner identity. So we have to understand first that negative thoughts are always anchored in your identification with a past event. So when you still identify with a past event, you develop subconscious beliefs about who you are as a person. Those subconscious beliefs can be something like you are unlovable, you are unworthy, or you always ruin things. So when you're still carrying those false beliefs about yourself, you are not in touch with your authentic self or with your present self. The other thing we have to understand is this. Our subconscious mind is where our emotional information and memories are stored. So these memories can include things like memories of our trauma, our wounds, as well as our deep-rooted worries. So those thoughts you have are just a fruition of what you feel about yourself deep inside. So the moment you clear those subconscious beliefs or those subconscious patterns on an inner level, those thoughts will start dissipating or will lose the strength. They will not have a foothold in who you are. Like the soil and manure of your negative thoughts are just your unhealed wounds. So without the soil and the manure, the thoughts will not take over your day. Let me just give an example to explain this. So if you are you deeply know you are good enough, and you experience a thought like, I should have done ABCD to save the relationship, the thought will not have an anchor to support it, because your healed self will be like, I did my best and there was nothing more I could have done. Because you deeply believe in yourself, you deeply believe in your ability. But if you do not believe yourself on an inner level, that belief will go along with those thoughts and be more of a self-fulfilling prophecy of your deep unworthiness, of your deep lack of self-belief. Then it will now come up with million other thoughts from the past of how you are such an unworthy person. Hope that makes sense. Like those beliefs drive your thoughts. So if you have a thought about something you did wrong in the past, because you deeply know that you are not good enough, other thoughts will come from the past where you messed up or you did a mistake will come back, because deep inside, the foothold, the soil is you're not good enough. Hope that makes sense. So what you believe about yourself has a huge impact on giving power to those negative thoughts, to those intrusive thoughts, and those painful emotions you are experiencing as a result of your past experiences. You are experiencing now those emotions now, but most of those emotions you are experiencing are not as a result of that thing which is happening now. It's as a result of what you believe about yourself. So once you clear those false beliefs in your head, you are transformed and you are just in touch with your authentic self. So when any thought, any negative thought about what you should have done just comes about, you just realize actually you did your best to leave the relationship because you are good enough, because you are worthy of love, you are worthy of taking care of yourself. So I left because I am worthy. But when you are unworthy, it means that I left because I ruined things. You see the difference here? When you are worthy, it feeds you with thoughts which are in alignment with how you believe about yourself. When you are unworthy, it feeds you with thoughts which are in alignment with how you believe about yourself, but not on the negative side. Hope that makes sense. If you'd like help to go deeper with this or with a better explanation with this, you can book a free call with me and I'll really explain to you how you can really go and have a deep shift deep within you and resolve these permanent thoughts. Permanent, like resolve these negative thoughts once and for all. Until next time, guys, have a nice Sunday.